Wait, am I full screen? Wait, this is a full screen. Okay, never mind. Alright, we're doing the rest of this chapter. And then we good. I'm up to date until they translate completely for chapter 2. So, we're finishing this. Alright. Right, cold-hearted cruelty. You're right. My apologies. Let's get started with introductions. Here's my card. Ooh, how formal. Even have business cards. Minami went around and politely offered her business card to everyone. The card read, Minami Oi, GNO Co, Vice President. This font feels really familiar. Tsuruko got deep in thought as she kept staring at the card. Oh, could it be? Minami, were you a former member of the Shinagawa tribe? Then, after quickly connecting the dots, she suddenly spoke up. Now that you mention it, I did feel like I had heard your name somewhere before. Yes, that's correct. However, I've since left the tribe. If that's the case, there's something I like to ask to you. Why are the members of the Shinagawa tribe working for that piece of crap Kazuma? I noticed that too. Why would they be listening to someone who shouldn't have any connections to the Shinagawa tribe? A solid observation. Please allow me to explain. Minami inhaled deeply, looked at everyone, and then began speaking. A few years back, the Shinagawa tribe was operating smoothly with its then leader and myself as secretary at the tribe's core. However, we wanted to expand beyond the production of just XP gear, so we decided to leave the tribe to pursue that venture. To that end, we built up and trained a successor. After that, we took our leave. But that's when all of this began. You mean the governing rules? Yes, the Shinagawa tribe, with its new leader at the heart and center, were forced to begin gathering goods to appease that sweet maniac of a CEO. That's when Kazuma stepped in and with his master plan. As the members were busy working hard to gather goods, he called out to each of them and spoke to them in private. He'd get inside their head and tell them that their leader was just simply using them as a stepping stone to become a director. And once they served their purpose, he would get them laid off without a second thought. How utterly despicable, repulsive even. Once the seed of distrust was planted into their hearts, it would be impossible to act as a team. Exactly. The members whose thoughts were plagued by doubt ended up siding with Kazuma for their own sakes. The tribe leaders stood firm against the rumors till the very end. They ended up meeting a rather gruesome layoff which broke everyone's spirits. It was clear she was feeling regret. Minami's voice trembled as she spoke. Her fists clenched tight as can be with a directionless rage. How awful! They were all from the same tribe and yet they doubted each other. They're being dominated by fear and it's clouding their judgment on what's right and what's wrong. It's practically mind control with how deeply it's embedded itself into them. The Shinagawa tribe was our home, so we want to do what we can to save it. As we were struggling to come up with a plan, Mr. Ayoma reached out to us asking for our help. We decided this wasn't an opportunity we could afford to walk away from. Minami looked at Yo with clear eyes. It was evident that despite all the hardship she endured, she's strong. From her attitude, he sensed a strong urge to move forward and not wallow endlessly in sadness. Oh, Ichicharo's ready to go. You saying you want to fight with us? Now we're talking. I can get behind that for sure. Hyaku Ichitaro cracked his knuckles. The faces around him lit up a little bit as well. Yes, we would like to help in whatever we can, so please join with us. We're going to need each and every single one of you in our plan of attack. We're aiming to pay back what Kazuma did tenfold. So if our goals align, then we got your back. Thank you. Well then, hold on a second. It's too early to jump to any decisions. We should base ours off of whether or not their plans work with us. Hugh's low, booming voice cut through all of the excitement. I see your point. One of the basics of business is understanding all of the details after all. My boss would be more than happy to explain our plan. After hearing it, then you can make your decision. Sounds good to me. Where's your boss? He's in the office that serves as our headquarters. I apologize for the inconvenience, but would you be willing to follow me there? My. I wasn't expecting to be getting such a workout today, but I suppose a moderate exercise is necessary to maintain my refined physique. Okay, let's get a move on then, everyone. Just as Ski took a step, wait, just a moment. Minami spoke up and then began adjusting her glasses with her finger. What's up? Are your glasses broken? No, nothing like that. It's just that we relocated our office and I'm not too sure how to get there from here. So I wanted to double check. Huh? Why in the world you be messing around with your glasses then? Just look it up on your smartphone. These are actually smart glasses which have a built-in display interface. Wait, what? That's awesome! Where did you get them? Yaku Ichitaro's childlike amazement matched his age. His little young age. At a glance, Minami's glasses looked perfectly normal. Yo was just as surprised as Yaku Ichitaro to find out that they were actually high-tech, but he disliked being thought of as childish. For that reason, he suppressed his amazement and did his best to maintain a calm, cool, and collected demeanor. We know! Why, thank you. These are something our company is currently developing. I hope you'll continue to look forward to the release. Oh, I definitely gotta save up for one of those. Do they have any other cool features? Like, can they shoot lasers? Nothing like that. In their current iteration, they can do things like record what you see. Aw, but it would have been super duper awesome if they could shoot out laser beams. Being able to record your surroundings, isn't that appealing? Pay no mind to these fools. I understand the value of it. Perhaps your company would be worth investing in. Well, our company is currently taking investments, so I thank you for your consideration. I've gone ahead and sent the location information to your smartphones. It should display the route to our office. Everyone's smartphones let out a notification sound and they put them out in unison. They noticed a GPS route had appeared on their screens. You can even do things like that with your smart glasses? That's an amazing piece of tech. Well, I guess it's time to head out. And so they set off for the office, following the route the GPS listed as they exchanged introductions with one another. Information exchange. The air in the business side of town was rather chilly and the neon lights reflected off of all the glass planes. It took some time, but they finally arrived in front of a slightly worn down office building. Despite clearly being polished, the metal frame around the entrance was showing its age. Minami guided them to the elevator and the doors opened with a robotic ding. G&O Co. was listed on the floor plan. Unlike the decaying outside, the inside was practically brand new. The air even had that freshly moved-in smell. Oh, hey. Thank you all for going through the trouble of coming all the way here. My name is Yutaka Gotanda. I'm the president of G&O Co. The moment the group entered the floor, a soft voice welcomed them. The source of this voice was a man with slicked down hair wearing squared glasses. His name was Yutaka Gotanda. He emanated a rather bold presence and wore a simple yet perfectly tailored suit. Even at a quick glance, it was obvious he was the head of the company. Nice to meet you, we're Yo Kuronaka, Ski Iroha, Tsuruko Senba, Q, and then we have Hyaku Ichitaro Senju, Eiji Todoroki. Do I have that right? The moment their names left his mouth, the group perked up. Yo and the others exchanged glances as their names were called out despite being their first meeting with him. Huh? Wait a sec. How do you know our names? Have we met before or something? Well, of course he knows me. I'm world renowned after all. But to think he also knows the names of you commoners? It's not a big deal. Always shared me videos of you when you're introducing yourselves. I see, your smart glasses can not only just record, but also send the recordings as well. That's beyond awesome. It's like they can do anything. I appreciate the kind words and hope you will look forward to their release. Still though, you managed to memorize all of our names in such a short amount of time. If it was me, I'd have mixed up a name or two. I understand what you mean. I might make such a mistake as well if my mind wandered. Yo had gotten used to it, but Minami, who they only just recently met, would sometimes get people's names confused. It was only 6 names or so, not very difficult in a grand scheme of things, especially if you have face flash memory like I do. I consider it my special skill. Yutaka pushed up his glasses and the corner of his mouth slightly curved upward into a smile. Face flash memory? I can't say I ever heard of that. Ha! Poor Yo. This sounds like a golden opportunity for Tsuruko Explains. Just leave it to me. As if she'd been anticipating this opportunity, Tsuruko took a step forward as her eyes gleamed. Then everyone prompted her to continue with their hands. She cleared her throat and began her explanation. You see, face flash memory refers to perfectly memorizing someone's name and face in an instant. I recall Mr. Gotanda giving that as an answer in an interview for a business magazine I flipped through a while back. Oh, you read my interview? Thank you very much. No need to thank me. It was an article describing the former leader of the Shinagawa tribe, so I found it to be quite an interesting read. Haha. Just hearing that brings back a flood of memories. But I think it's time we cut the small talk. I appreciate it if everyone could take a seat on that sofa over there. I'm sure you are all worked up thirst, so I'll get some coffee ready. Everyone took a seat on the leather sofa. Considering the amount of walking they had done today, their feet were glad to get a bit of a break. Soon the sounds of cups being placed down and the aroma of ground coffee filled the air. With a tray in hand, Minami handed everyone a cup of coffee. A pleasant aroma and billowing steam piped out from each cup. Minami's nervousness slowly evaporated with each cup she gave out. As she placed down the last cup, she began to speak. For those of you who want extra milk and sugar, here you go, Miss Tsuru-sen. Oh, I didn't know your nickname. Miss Tsuru Senba and Mr. Hyakaka Senda. Come on, lady, it's Hyaku Ichitaro Senju, not Hyakaka Senda. Why did you get that mixed up? Hyakaka. My name is not Tsuru either. It's Tsuruko. I'm surprised. Oh, I was like, is this the wrong? No, she mistakenly mistaken their names. Yeah, I'm sorry. My apologies. Unlike Mr. Gotanda, I still haven't fully managed to memorize everyone's names. Miss Senba, Mr. Senju, I would like to apologize on behalf of my subordinate. A superior must take responsibility for their subordinate's mistakes after all. If you must blame anyone, please blame me. As if it were second nature, Yutaka gave them a bow. Saying how serious he was about it all, the irritation on Hyaku Ichitaro and Tsuruko's faces disappeared and was instead replaced with an awkward look. Look, man, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. No biggie. Thank you. Well then, may I proceed to the heart of the matter? Before we do, how about we make sure everyone's on the same page? There's some things we'd like to communicate to you. That's a wonderful suggestion. Well then, Trash Tribe, you have my full attention. Could you please tell me why you have all come to Shinagawa? I had asked Mr. Ayama the same question, but our communication was cut before I could hear the specifics. It's a bit of a long story, but they explain how Trash Tribe lost to Zero in a match of XB, and as a result, were forced to participate in XG, which was a competition against the numbers that were being conducted with the governing rules. They finished recounting how Kazuki and a number of their members were taken to another city. By the time they had finished, the atmosphere of the room had grown colder despite the warmth of their cups. I see. We've all been through a fair share of tough battles. If you wouldn't mind, could you tell us more about yourself? We heard a bit about the Shinagawa tribe from Minami earlier, but we really don't know much outside of that. I wouldn't mind at all. Simply put, this current state of affairs here is rather dire. Yutaka walked over and sat down at his desk in the back. Naturally, Minami walked over to his side. Their expressions were tense. For starters, the CEO is being manipulated by Kazuma. It's no different than a dummy company. Targets for the layout are supposed to be decided by the CEO, but Kazuma's the one calling the shots now. Yeah, we've witnessed that firsthand. And because of that, there aren't many people in the city who dare to defy him. The worst of the bunch offer bribes to try to get on his good side, and as a result, Kazuma's popularity with the CEO has skyrocketed. The more we hear, the more hopeless this is sounding. Don't be a downer. We must not give up. As they say, constant jerking wears away the stone. If we throw in the towel now, nothing will ever change. I get where you're coming from, Tsurugo, but we're at a disadvantage here. What can we even do? Well, about that. As the mood in the room took a turn for the worse, Yutaka's smile disappeared from his face. The atmosphere in the room completely changed. He put his elbows on his desk and put his index fingers over his mouth. His gaze dropped quietly. I'm planning on ousting Kazuma from the director's seat, and to do so, I'd like to ask for your cooperation. The room went abuzz upon hearing those words. A man hell-bent on revenge. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up a minute. Weren't you just going on about how Kazuma's all buddy-buddy with the CEO? He also said he's been collecting all sorts of bribes, right? We've also been searching around for things to offer, but couldn't manage to find even a single one. Unfortunately, that's due to Kazuma having all means of obtaining any type of sweet Japanese treats under his control. It's become increasingly impossible for new employees to find any treats to offer. However, in the case of the Azuchi Momoyama half-baked castella, that's a different story. If you were to say, get your hands on one of those, everything could proceed according to plan. There wouldn't be any obstacles in our way. The Azuchi Momoyama half-baked castella. It came up in the conversation Kazuma was having with the CEO. From what it sounded, it was a trait of legend. But could it be it actually does exist? I think that's the trait the CEO was going crazy over just the thought of. What even is it? It's a delicacy given to the previous rulers of Neo Tokyo, the Otori family. Rumor has it it's kept in a special golden box to ensure it remains perfectly preserved. Its rarity is unmatched. Oh, something that rare probably tastes practically divine. Are you serious? That's what you're focusing on? Well, no matter. Even if it's rare, as they say, we gotta find it. It's the only shot we got. Easier said than done. I mean, they don't call it Tree of Legend for nothing. So much so that people don't believe it really even exists. What do you do if we told you it actually does exist? Ha! You must be joking. I heard every single TV station search high and low for one and couldn't find a single trace of it. There's no way you guys found something like that. Hold on, let them finish. Well, if you're going as far to say that, then prove it. You see, we managed to hack into the Otori family's database and gather information that led us to identifying its owner. We've cross-checked the information countless times, so we believe it's a pretty solid evidence. Oh, game plan. Oh, look at Todoroki here. Ooh, sorry. Minami took out a file and spread its content onto the desk. He presented each document to Yo and the others, pointing to various portions of them. I can't wrap my mind around this. Can I take a look at this document? Go right ahead. Simply telling you that we have it in our possession wouldn't be enough to convince you, would it? Please take your time. We wanted to mitigate the risk of any leaks, so we apologize for only being able to offer printed materials. After the documents from Minami, Tsuruko and the others began poring over them, taking in the information. Yo, who didn't know anything about the Otori family, couldn't quite understand the gravity of the information. Eiji, on the other hand, was fully focused as his eyes were locked solely to the paper. Everyone was incredibly invested, so Yo decided to leave its deciphering to the others. I see. There is indeed enough supporting evidence here, but what I don't get is why it'd be at the Aquamarine Park. I mean, that's an aquarium, right? The head of the Marine Life Research Institution produced remarkable results so the authorities granted him a merit reward, which included the treat as a prize. Seems as though he had a big sweet tooth. He chose to tell his good friend and owner of Aquamarine Park that he planned on eating it once he finally retired. To that end, it seems they chose to hide it somewhere inside the aquarium. If that's all true, then why hadn't it been given to the CEO? Everything would be settled by just giving the Azuchi Momoyama, right? Reading here, it seems as though he was murdered. That's correct. It was before the governing rules went into effect. It seems as though he got involved in developing weapons and was eliminated in an internal conflict. His friend who owned the aquarium was also disposed of for the same reason. Eek! That's really scary. Please, we need your help. If something happened to Mr. Gotanda and I as we attempted to retrieve it, our plans would fall apart. That's why we really hope you will lend us your strength. Minami gave a low bow as she made her request, but Yo and the others stood there, not being able to give them a prompt response. One wrong move this week could be their last. That's why they couldn't afford to make any rash decisions. The room was filled with a heavy silence. Why won't you speak? If we go to Aquamarine Park, you can obtain the Azuchi Momoyama. You can't be thinking of running away from an opportunity like this. Yutaka pounded his fist on the table. The sound of the reverberate around the room. Yo and the others tensed up and found themselves at loss for words. Sir, you're getting too emotional. You're scaring everyone. At Minami's words, Ki and Hyaku Ishitaro nodded their heads a few times with a serious look on their faces. My apologies. It seems I've lost it there for a moment. Yutaka gave a slight bow and pushed up his glasses. But you must understand, I cannot allow Kazuma to continue trampling over the Shinagawa tribe, our old home, any more than he already has. We had a lot of members, and I didn't have a chance to get to know everyone. But the members of that tribe were our original subordinates. I can't stand idly by and let them suffer more than they already have. Yutaka quietly let those words as he touched his glowing Shinagawa tribe earring. Even though him and Minami left their tribe, they never cut their emotional ties with them. They kept their earrings as a symbol of that. The walls in the office were decorated with photographs from those days. Every one of them had people smiling shoulder to shoulder, showing the pride of the Shinagawa tribe. But those warm memories had been trampled over by Kazuma's rule and now the past has become an unimaginable pain. Yo could understand what Yutaka was going through. In an effort to get revenge for Ski and Sui when they got hit by lasers on the Space Envoy 3, Yo had challenged Zero to an XP match. Even though Ski made it out safely, his desire for revenge hadn't subsided at all. For it to fully fade away, he had to take down Zero with his own 2 hands. That settles it. We'll help you out, Mr. Gotanda. Yeah, I don't have any objections. Yep, sign me up too. Let's do our best to get our hands on that Castella. After Yo spoke up, all the Trash Tribe members nodded and voiced their agreement. Smiles filled with relief and determination appeared on Yutaka and Minami's faces. Everyone, I can't thank you all enough. Let's do our best to remove Kazuma in the director's seat once and for all. Well, now that's settled, we should strike while the iron is hot. Let's make our way to the Aquamarine Park. Yeah, let's go. Right now. Tako Ichitaro was dozing off as he spoke. Just as he slowly began sitting up, he fell back down, fast asleep. Sleepy little boy. Hey, what happened to the caffeine you just ingested a few minutes ago? Well, I mean, we've been at it all day. Even I'm a little bit. When Yo looked over at the clock, he realized the daybreak was around the corner. It made sense why everyone was so tired. Let's end things for now. We can all focus our efforts on the Castella tomorrow. Yutaka kneeled down and put Hyaku Ichitaro on his back. Aww, that's so cute. I'm so sorry for him. Haha, please don't worry about it. You're all staying at the Shinagawa Princess Hotel, right? I can carry him to his room. Are you sure? It's quite a ways from here. It's really not a problem. Out of everyone here, I'm the one who's moved the least today. Plus, considering what's in store for us, it's best we allow him to sleep in a warm, comfy bed while he still can. I'll come along as well. It might as well be, might be for the best if we all move together from now on. Well then, let's head back. Everyone left Yutaka's office and followed the cold hallways until they reached the outside. The sky had changed from the ultramarine to a nice pale orange as the sunlight began rising up in the east. The cries of the early morning birds could be heard echoing from between the buildings. On the way to the hotel, Yutaka and Minami told the group nostalgic stories of how things used to be before the governing rules existed. How business peoples in suits would be seen everywhere in Shinagawa City, and how huge the crowds in the early morning and evening were. But now everyone was afraid of the governing rules and very few people still worked. In reality, they were heading to the hotel during the morning rush, but there wasn't a single soul to be found. It hurt Yo's heart hearing how Zero had changed everything in Neo Tokyo. Once they have arrived to the 10th floor of the Shinagawa Hotel, they all nodded at each other and returned to their respective rooms. When Yo arrived to his room, he took a shower to clean himself off. As the steam from his shower subsided, he crawled into his unchanged bed and silently closed his eyes. Power abusing boss. I'm so full. Thanks a billion for preparing us food, Minami. Everyone had woken up in the evening and ended up eating a late breakfast at the restaurant that was next to the hotel's entrance. Their meal included a rice ball, a rolled omelet, pickled vegetables, and miso soup. It had been a while since they had a hot meal, and it helped soothe their bodies. It's nothing. I simply heated up and prepared what was in the refrigerator. The restaurant had closed down when the governing rules went into effect. Its function now was allowing people to cook using the ingredients that were in the refrigerator. The person that we should really be thanking is the hotel's manager. It seems as though she made various preparations in the event she died. Earlier, Yo and Minami looked through the kitchen. They found a large amount of well-organized food and ingredients. Along with them was a note explaining where they could acquire more supplies in case of emergencies. She had allowed she had allowed me to use the hotel for business negotiations on a few occasions. There aren't many people in this world who work as hard as she did. To think such a precious life was taken from us. A stillness fell in the room after everyone finished eating. It reflected on the fact that the manager was no longer there with them. Could I please have everyone's attention for a moment? Tsuruko, who have left to use the restroom, came running back to the room. It seemed like she had been in a hurry. She almost fell over as she stopped, but managed to grab onto Q and narrowly avoided hitting the ground. What's the matter? Kazuma's at the entrance. Huh? Are you serious? That means trouble. Let's go. Ski spoke with half an onigiri in her mouth. Everyone quickly jumped up to their feet and rushed out of the restaurant, making their way to the entrance. But please forgive me. It was my mistake. Your idiocy is truly astounding. To think there are people out there who could botch such a simple task. Now tell me, you're not doing this to illustrate the stupid mistakes humans are capable of, are you? Come on, speak up. Are you useless? You can't even talk now? It's not like that. I mean, hey. Stop making that face. Are you trying to make it seem like I'm bullying you? It's obvious you're faking being hurt to garner some sympathy. I can see right through you, you know. When everyone arrived at the scene, Kazuma was there yelling at one of his subordinates. The person being yelled at was clearly one of the 24th city enforcers. They couldn't see their face because of the mask, but their voice and build, it was obvious it was a woman. It was painful to see her trembling with fear. So Yo took a step forward and got in between them. I got a clue what you're doing here, but you're taking things too far. My, look who's turned up. Aren't you all members of the sewage tribe? It's insulting. When Kazuma noticed Yo and the others, the corners of his mouth curved upward. He fiddled with his scarf before donning a smug look on his face. The enforcers around him held their breath. Only the petite subordinate who was being scolded showed any signs of movement with her trembling. It's the trash tribe, get it right? And to think you go out and crying at go and yell at a crying girl, you really are the freaking worst. Don't go interfering when I'm disciplining my subordinates. These days, there's no difference if you're a man or a woman. If we went and showed favoritism towards one or the other, wouldn't that be a form of sexual harassment? Or am I wrong? Kazuma shrugged his shoulder and put both his hands in the air. There was a coldness in his gaze that suggested it would be laughable to make a counter-argument. Good grief, what textbook case of a superior's abusing their position? I'm at loss for words. I feel like I've seen your face before. Yutaka slipped his fingers into his breast pocket, took out his business card holder, and opened the lid with his thumb. No need to tell me your name. I'm not in the habit of using my precious brain space to store pointless information. Kazuma brushed him away as if he were shooing away a bug. His gesture made the air around them tense. Yet Yutaka stopped his movements and then quietly put away his business card holder. You're such an annoying prick. The manager loved this hotel with all her heart. He wouldn't want a scum like you here. Quiet down, girl. Low-level employees such as yourself don't have the right to speak to the director. What's the point of bringing up the dead woman anyways? She was the one who denied my accommodations at the hotel over and over again. So, in the end, she got what she deserved. That's what happens when you go and disrespect your betters. What is that? That doesn't sound right to me. Before he realized it, Yo's fist was shaking. Oh, I thought he was gonna punch him. Like, punch him, Yo! He silenced the anger welling up in the back of his throat, barely managing to stop his legs from moving forward. How dare you? You are the one who got her laid off. What were you even doing here anyway? For a while now, I've been thinking this hotel would be the perfect fit for me as number one. And considering that the manager is now 6 feet under, there's nothing stopping me from taking the suite on the top floor as my own starting. How about today? There's no way in hell we're gonna let that happen. Not a chance, you piece of crap. Steve's voice echoed around the room, causing Kazuma to frown. You're really getting on my last nerve, girlie. At any rate, it must be fate that we're all meeting here. I have some welcoming news for you. You have news for us? You see, I did some research on you all. Oh, so you have time to do that, huh? Some of you are rather noisy and boisterous, but there's also a few of you who are quite excellent. I'd be heartbroken to take the lives of those who have preposterous futures ahead. So I propose. Kazuma's mouth was ever so slightly open, and just as he was about to continue his rambling, not happening. Not in a billion quadrillion years. Ski loudly cut him off. Kids these days, I was still in the middle of making my proposal. Can't you bother to wait until the very end to freak out? Kazuma gave a rather over-the-top shoulder shrug and then cleared his throat. He straightened his back and acted as if his anger from before suddenly vanished. Then he began speaking with a more eloquent tone than before. Let me make you an almost irresistible offer. How would you all like to become my subordinates? If you do so, I vow to not lay you off. Don't know what that brain of yours is thinking. You really came all the way out here to say that? He's most likely aiming to cause a divide among us, just like he did to the Shinagawa tribe back in the day. Minami quietly walked up to Yo and whispered those words into his ear. It was true though. Kazuma's underhanded tactics were what caused the internal discord amongst the Shinagawa tribe members. Yo could feel his anger towards Kazuma bubbling back up in the back of his throat after suppressing it just moments ago. Why the hesitation? For the likes of you, this is the best offer you're going to get, ain't it? I mean, getting to work under someone as excellent as myself will guarantee you future success. Just as he was going to continue his speech, a sharp shattering sound cut through the air. Everyone's attention quickly snapped to look to be the of the bigger enforcers. He had just destroyed the suitcase as he was holding, shattering it into pitiful pieces. No, I'm sorry. It was an accident. Was that my suitcase? Oh, you. What are you doing? That was a limited edition item that's not in production anymore. Once more, Kazuma's attempt at eloquence was smashed to bits. His face had twisted and warped as he spiraled into a full of rage. The image of the calm director he had maintained until now was completely gone. Oh, he angry. No, the poor big guy. The buff guy. You see, I thought I would bring it up to your room, but it seems like I applied too much force and the subordinate who managed to destroy the suitcase was buff enough to be a professional wrestler. He could probably squish an ordinary person like a grape, so it wasn't really that surprising that he could shatter the suitcase, which sounded to be an antique. Are you telling me that you can't carry a simple task like carrying luggage? Are you more inferior than the carriage horse? Huh? No. Perhaps you're more like a horse's excrement. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. Just go to your room and do something. Make the bed. We'll discuss the details of your punishment later. Understood, sir. But, about the room key. Don't worry, I have the key. Wait, huh? Kazuma loudly slapped his forehead with his hand and let out a deep sigh. His words were as cold as ice, yet his tone was both angry and surprised. Oh, there's no way this is happening. Genuinely, no way. It's impossible that I'm going to ask anyways. Did you lose the key? Of course not, sir. I just can't find it right now, that's all. That's not a good excuse. No! Don't you go changing your words around in an attempt to trick me. You can't remember where you put the key. Or perhaps it's actually your brain that you've lost. No. Knowing you never had much of a brain to begin with. I'm sorry, sir. But I think I've been yelling too much. Huh. Hey, you. Kazuma's voice had grown hoarse from yelling, and he seemed slightly out of breath. Yeah, what do you want? A single word reply would have sufficed. Before we walk into the hotel, didn't I urge you to bring me something to drink? So where is it? Did you get something that's invisible to the director's eyes or something? Well, you see, I completely forgot about it. He's lazy. He forgot. Sure, he's lazy. You idiot! Who do you think you are? Do you want my throat to be drier than a desert? It wasn't my intention. You're so annoying. I don't want to hear one more excuse out of you, you lazy slob. The lazy enforcer shrugged his shoulders, his body trembling at the angry scolding. But all his nonchalant attitude did add fuel to the fire. Yo and the others found themselves at loss for words, utterly flabbergasted by the back and forth of the transpiring in front of them. What's even going on here anymore? Is this really how Kazuma constantly treats his subordinates? It's like he's just vomiting out insult after insult. Just hearing it non-stop is making me sick. Wait. 1 second, sir. I know everyone's made some kind of mistake, but there was a lot that went on leading up to now. The super thin enforcer, who had been silent the whole time, decided to take a step forward. You'll really admire the enforcer's courage to take action. Their knees began to buckle, and their body was swaying back and forth like a pendulum. It was like looking at a small animal being sucked up by a storm. You. Do you even know who you're talking back to? I'm the director. And unfortunately for me, that makes me your superior. If you can't remember something so simple as that, then you need to have your brain examined by a neurologist. Eek. Having been yelled at by Kazuma, the thin enforcer cupped his ears with his hands and crumbled to the ground. He looked so pathetic, it was painful to look at him. Damn it all! As he repeated angrily to himself, Kazuma walked over to a nearby waiter. The waiter deftly poured some water into a cup, and Kazuma downed it immediately. See, why can't any of you do something simple as that? It's as if I'm asking the impossible. I thought making a group of low-skill employees work together would create something beautiful, that you'd be able to at least do something. But as it turns out, everyone besides me will always be useless. Kazuma spat out those words, then crushed the paper cup in his hand. I can't forget the way he's treating them, at my limit. The one member of the group most enraged was Yutaka. He managed to keep quiet during the business card incident, but now he looked just as angry as Yo. But unlike Yo, he couldn't hold it down. It had boiled over and he had a demonic scowl on his face. Please control yourself. Kazuma targets you at this point. It will hinder our plans. Are you telling me to just stand there and do nothing? No, but I'm asking you to leave this to me. Minami took a deep breath and pushed up her glasses. With a tablet in her hand, she walked up to Kazuma with a calm and collected stride. Pardon me, Mr. Ichinose? Could I please have a moment of your time? Take a look at this. There's a master craftsman very close to the hotel here. If you have them repair your suitcase, he can restore it to perfect condition. Oh, you're quite a tactful woman. You certainly caught my attention. You know, you can come and work for me whenever you like. Despite being in full-blown fit of rage just moments ago, Kazuma's anger seemed to have subsided. The corners of his mouth had transformed into an unpleasant smile. I may have just to take you up on that offer. Now that I have the chance to see you up close, I can see you're quite charming. Ugh, cringe. I wonder how cringe she felt for having to say that. Minami casted her eyes slightly and complimented him with a slightly seductive tone. Everyone freaked out after seeing her put on such an act. Surely she can't be serious. Well, remove the crappy personality and he is quite a looker. What is... What? Watanda, are you okay? You've gone pale. I'm okay, I think. Aha! I see. I suppose this is one of those cases of one superior individual recognizing another. I wish my hopeless bird brains will learn a thing or two from you. However, it seemed Minami's seduction had no effect on Kazuma. Perhaps it was because he didn't seem have much of an interest in women to begin with. Whoa, are you trying to imply something here? But it seemed as though having his ego stroked improved his mood. Yeah, we do try our best. Having to discipline my worthless employees has made me quite hungry. I'm off to eat. Kazuma turned his heel with a big smile on his face, perhaps due to Minami's compliment. He disappeared through the hotel's entrance, leaving behind the subordinates he had just yelled at moments ago. The reason they obey. Well, at least he left in a good mood. I still can't believe she say someone like that prick is charming. Her taste in men straight sucks. His face is definitely handsome. What the? Well, honestly, for me, Chinose is not attractive to me. I mean, yeah, I don't find him attractive. No. Anyway, sorry. Wait, his face is definitely a handsome. But he's as skinny as a pencil. Word of advice, pursue a man with a more meat on his bones. You're trying to buy yourself, aren't you? I don't really like talking about stuff like this, but I think Kazuma's body type is relatively normal. Look, I don't mean to speak too much on the subject that may fall under the umbrella of sexual harassment, but oi, if you're were to get romantically involved with someone, please let me meet them at least once. I'll conduct 10, no, hundreds of interviews to ensure you don't end up with some strange man. The moment Kazuma left, everyone, the trash tribe besides Q, surrounded Minami and began chanting. No interest in this. I'm just gonna stay back. You guys talk. Mina couldn't figure out what everyone was referring to at first, but after Yutaka's comment, it clicked. She realized everyone misunderstood what happened. I was just doing all that to divert his anger. Well, I had another reason too, but Minami shook her head vigorously as she denied having any interest in Kazuma. Minami? You're not all about looks, are you? Or rather, of course not. Rather than looks, I value whether or not they can respect other people and... Excuse me, I know I'm not in any position to ask her a favor, but this was the opportunity she was looking for. Minami rushed over to the petite enforcer's side. Oh, and wait, are you wanting the address of the master craftsman? Just give me a moment. I'll get it printed out for you. Guessing what the enforcer was going to ask, Minami took out a small printer from her pocket and connected it to her tablet. There was a faint motor sound, and then a warm piece of paper was ejected from the printer. Minami then handed the paper to the enforcer. Thank you so much. I apologize for not being able to give you anything in return. Please don't worry about it. Actually, could I ask you a few questions? Yes. But we've been instructed by Mr. Ichinose not disclose anything that could cause him a disadvantage under any circumstance. You don't have to worry about that. I want to ask about all of you instead. About us? Yes. I was wondering why you work under Cosmo, considering all those awful things he says to you all. It's really piqued my curiosity. Now that you mentioned it, I wanted to ask the same thing. I wouldn't be able to put up with any of that. Yeah, same. Think you could explain it to us? Everyone was also interested in the answer to Minami's question, so they slowly began to encircle the petite enforcer. I mean, if we defy him, we'll end up getting laid off, and I don't want to die yet. I guess he told you that he spared your life if you came and worked for him, huh? Well, I suppose there's no real argument with that. It's not like that. Mr. Chinose is merciless. No matter how obedient you are, there's still a chance he lays you off. It was a while ago, but there was a case where someone ate dorayaki and he carefully set aside, and that person was immediately laid off. Still though, he's a huge fan of blue tanukis. Or wait, was it cats? I think that part of him is super duper cute. Petite Enforcer giggled as she told everyone her terrible stories. Wait, back up a moment. So following his orders or defying him lead to the same result? Yes, but if you work for him, the odds of being laid off are lower. I mean, that's really the best we can do. Despite the giggling just moments ago, the moment she heard Ski's word, the enforcer gripped the sides of her hood tightly and began to tremble as she gave her response. They've had their will to fight completely stolen. I feel bad for them all. Yeah, it really sucks. You'll emphasize with the enforcers, who resign themselves to their fate out of fear. Beep! Hearing a notification sound, Yol took out his smartphone. A notification had appeared, signifying a new message. The sender was the same one back in 21st City, Neon. Yo, I apologize for the sudden message, but there's something I wish to convey to you. Moments ago, you heard a member of the 24 tribe explain that Cosmo lays off those working under him. I suggest you commit that fact to memory, as it may serve you well in the future. What? What does that even mean? Yo found himself confused. Yo looked around his teammates. They're all confused just as he is. Huh? Man, I don't really get it. But they texted us about it. So it's gotta be important, right? You think this neon person's always watching us? Man, I'd kill to have that much free time. Me too. Honestly, the creepiest part is receiving messages without having ever given them my contact information. You didn't tell them about Nine in the first place, right? Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. As Yo explained Neon to his fellow Trash Tribe members, they began treating them as Yo's stalker who hasn't been useful yet. You're useless, Neon. Excuse me, but can I go now? Mr. Chinose has given us a buttload of work to do. Ah, yes, thank you for speaking with us. I apologize for keeping you for so long. Oh, it's no problem. Thank you for letting us know where we can find the master craftsman. The petite enforcer gave Minami a deep bow, then walked over to her team. Okay, everyone, Mr. Chinose wanted the key room, his suitcase repaired, and a drink. Besides those, we have to take care of another 3,200 smaller tasks? Hey, that's a lot. You add that to the list. Let's divide and conquer so we can finish up everything quickly. How many of them are there? Gotcha. Hey, Abekawa, how long are you planning to lay around on the ground? Ugh. Sorry, I wanted to stand up for everyone, but it didn't work out. Hey brother, don't go beating yourself up like that. Think I could ask you to go to the master craftsman shop for me? I'm not really good with strangers. I'd be super happy to. After all, your superhuman strength is always getting us out of tough situations. You're a lifesaver, buddy. But Mr. Chinose really is scary, ain't he? Are you more inferior than a carriage horse? Huh? No, perhaps you're more like a horse's excrement. I had to stifle a laugh when he had said that. Mitarashi, your imitation of him was spot on. Kashira Mitarashi, if he heard your conversation right now, you two would be laid off for sure. Yeah, layoffs are so scary. After Cosmo left, the enforcers promptly split up when they needed to do as they chatted away. Since they all had masks on, Yo couldn't figure out who was who. But as they called out to each other by name and divided their tasks, you could tell that they were skilled at what they do. It seems they're really a great team. Even if their superior is doing all he can to make sure they don't shine. It's regrettable how he's squandering such excellent workers. We have to do something about Kazuma as soon as possible. Yeah, after seeing what happened here, we should hurry. Night at the aquarium. Seeking out the Azuchi Momoyama half-baked castella, Yo and the others made their way to Aquamarine Park. But the front gate was tightly locked. According to what Yutaka said, the owner had been killed as a result of being involved in a weapons development. But to the public, he committed suicide due to a slump in business. There was a sign posted at the entrance that read, "Closed due to decline in business." Yutaka and Minami were going to try to hack into the network to remotely unlock the gate. But before they could even begin to try, Q broke the law of brute force. Yeah, I was like, no, let's break it. Q. As they walked into the aquarium, they noticed dancing shadows on the ground from the lights that shone from within the water tanks. Yo was surprised to see all the marine lights still alive despite the aquarium having closed. As they continued walking, they found a sign of detailing the introduction of a fully automatic care system. As long as it remained powered, this advanced system would handle tasks ranging from water quality treatment to even feedings. The person who had developed this system was the chief of the Marine Life Research Institution. Apparently, he had also been involved in weapons development. Deep down, Yo thought it was a shame considering his wonderful genius. According to Minami, the castella was located in the backyard of the squid display. The team made their way through the aquarium. Wow, aquariums at night are so pretty. Why don't we stop and take a look around since we're here? I want to see the sharks, ooh, and the penguins. Seeing penguins would be nice. I love to see baby penguins too if they have any. Guys, we're not here to enjoy the exhibits. Please don't go forgetting our objective. Sorry, I just couldn't help myself from getting all excited. Can't say I blame them. It's surprisingly clean despite being abandoned. Isn't it strange that there's still power to the facility that's been closed down for this long? Generally, you attempted to cancel all utilities. Hey, stop dawdling and keep moving forward. The blue of the tanks swayed on the walls as they moved deeper and deeper in. The ground kept periodically stopping to look at the colorful marine life. They stopped the longest when they arrived at the penguins. Hugh, Eve, and even Minami were glued to the glass as they watched intently as the penguins make cute movements. Oh, this is so wholesome and cute! Yu and Yutaka slowed down as they walked side by side as they watched them all from afar. So that the silence didn't drag on, Yutaka casually offered Yo a piece of caffeinated gum, but swore him to secrecy as he didn't have enough for everyone. Beyond the bitterness of the gum, Yo suddenly pictured the manager as he looked at Yutaka's back. In that moment, he strongly hoped that he himself would become like them, an adult who could notice someone's problems and offer a helping hand without a second thought. Don't go running ahead. My apologies, I got carried away for a moment. The stragglers who stayed behind to look around had finally caught up to Yo and the others. Minami's face had turned a little red with embarrassment, but she was enjoying her time at the aquarium. We still have a few days before the CEO awakens again. There's enough time to watch the penguins. I feel a lot better having heard that. As they continue making their way through the aquarium, they spotted the squid show stage ahead. The audience seats were caked with in a thick layer of dust, and the pool had been completely drained. Despite that, the stage and banners were still shining brightly. The Azuchi Momoyama's around here somewhere, right? Could be. I can't wait to see what it looks like. They were getting close to their destination, but suddenly AJ stopped moving. Like a chain effect, everyone else stopped dead in their tracks. AJ? I think the top floor ahead is moving. I see it too. What is that, Mr. Kuronaka? Think you might be able to tell? After Minami suggested, Yo shifted his gaze to where they were looking. The floor up ahead was moving as if it was the surface of water. The waves quickly reached everyone as they prepared themselves. Well, I'm gonna get eaten. Shark! A huge shadow accompanied by a high-pitched scream leapt up. It was a robot build in the shape of a shark. It appeared to be swimming through the ground as if it could change Earth into water. Ew! Why did you call it? Ew, disgusting. Ew! What is that? It's swimming around in the ground. Mr. Gotana, could this be? I believe so. It's Samizu, the robotic shark designed to kill. It was developed by the chief of the Marine Life Research Institution. Don't tell me. Did the remaining members think to use the closing of this space as an opportunity for a trial run? What? That's a shark! It looks nothing like the ones I've seen. It really was a large robot that resembled a real shark. It perfectly blended in with the background via a stealth function built into its body. It hadn't completely vanished, however, its distorted silhouette was visible on the ground. Perhaps that's why it had appeared like it was swimming in the ground. Upon closer inspection, close to the stage, there were shreds of what looks like clothes and clumps of something white on the ground. Perhaps they were the remains of people who had been attacked by Samizu. Like a predator who found its prey, the robotic shark circled around Yo and the others. It looks like we won't be able to avoid a fight. Everyone, it's a formidable foe. Keep your eyes on its movements. Got it. The first person to attack was Q. Anticipating that Samizu's attack patterns were going to be a hard raid, he attempted to grab its attention by rushing it at it straight on. Giving the other members a split second to press the advantage from the other angles. However, Yo got too greedy. His withdrawal was too short, and just as he was about to be consumed by Samizu's blast, Yutaka pulled him back by the shoulders and deftly got him out of harm's way. Before he could catch his breath, Yo heard a high-pitched noise whizzing towards him. Minami's cute humanoid robot. Okay, got it. That's why. Togoshi scanned him for any injuries, quickly bandaged him up, and administered some pain relievers. They were always great in a pinch. Thanks to Yutaka and Minami's wealth of experience, they They excelled at keeping an eye on their surroundings. The other members were saved a few times by their protection as well. The attacks became more relentless. Hugh managed to pull Samizu's attention while the rest of the team continued their assault. They soon found their attacks have become more efficient as they found a perfect rhythm to them. Before long, Samizu's cries began growing hoarse, and its motions strained. Eventually, it stopped moving altogether and entered self-repair mode. Not even a shark can stand against my prowess. Seems like it's down for the count. Should we just leave it? Yeah, time is of essence now. Works for me. There's no need for us to deliver the killing blow. Well then, let's make our way back to the backyard. Wait a moment. Yutaka stopped in place and anxiously moved his fingers to his ear. That's weird. I could have sworn it was just there a moment ago. Nothing the matter? We have to keep going. Sorry, but have any of you seen my earring? I thought I was wearing it. Upon a second glance, his earring, a symbol of the Shinagawa tribe, had disappeared. By any chance the yellow item over by the shark? The girl pointed toward a yellow light underneath the shark. There was no doubt about it. It was definitely Yutaka's earring. How unfortunate. Mr. Gotanda, we must retrieve it. With what's become a Shinagawa tribe, there's no way we'd be able to find a replacement. It's okay, Oi. It's my fault for not properly caring for it. Let's just keep moving forward. Despite his words, Yutaka's footsteps had grown more visibly heavy. Yo suddenly recalling that Yutaka had a habit of subconsciously reaching up to touch his earring, found himself taking off towards Samizu. Just give me a sec. I'll grab it. Yo, are you out of your mind? Don't go near that thing. Ignoring Ski's warnings, Yo made a beeline straight towards Samizu. Oh, then go next. Oh, there we go. Time's running out. Huh? Yi, Kuronaka just woke up. Why am I sleeping here? Upon opening his eyes, Yo found himself lying down on a worn-out sofa facing a tank in Aquamarine Park. A dull ache lingered in his back, and the effort needed to get up woke him up rather effectively. He winced. You don't remember? Come on, Yo, you took a shark all on your own just to get Mr. Gotanda's earring back. Ski and Gotanda filled him in on what happened. Yo leapt at Samizu once it had exited its healing mode and delivered the final blow. Just as that happened, Samizu self-destructed, having caught Yo in the blast. He'd been asleep for the past several days? Jeez, Yo, come on. Stop getting yourself knocked out. Recovering from a nasty head injury. I see. Sorry for all the trouble, everyone. Why on earth would you go and do something so reckless? You couldn't have died in there. Despite Gotanda's harsh words, he leaned down so he could look at Yo in the eye. Though his gaze were undoubtedly furious, behind it shone a very real worry. I'd be lying if I said I was thinking straight at the time. I just knew it mattered to you and the others, so it mattered to me to get it back. Yo could tell his sincerity reached Gotanda. The anger he had previously dissuaded slowly subsiding. Gotanda clenched his recently recovered earring tightly. I can't thank you enough for retrieving my treasure for me, but I'll ask you to please refrain from doing something so reckless ever again. Yeah, I can try. No guarantees, he's gonna be reckless anyways. They locked eyes together and chuckled. The heavy thud of footsteps snapped them from the moment Yo turned toward the heavy, ever-approaching sound and saw Taka Ichitaro followed by everyone else who shouldn't have been there. Hey, nice to see you, Sleeping Beauty, out and about. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to delay everything. No need to worry about it. Yeah, wait, sorry. No, don't worry about it. The backyard turned out to be bigger than we first thought, so it took us longer than we expected to find it. Still, we found it. Look, This is the Azuchi Momoyama Half-Baked Castella. Ta-da! That looks like a gold bar. As Oi said this, she pointed to a box held in Q's hand. It was a quite ornate box wrapped in gold leaf and shining brilliantly, with the bird crest stamped right on top of the lid. You could tell at a mere glance that there was no ordinary object. Whoa, so it really does exist. But how do we know it's the real thing? If we have given him the wrong item, we might be laid off. Despite everyone's mirth and joy at their accomplishment, Yo and Gotanda couldn't celebrate openly. After all, what if they held their hands and what if what they held in their hands was not the real Azuchi Momoyama half-baked Castella? How could they know for sure? Their unease started to catch on, and silence quickly spread amongst the group, though it was all still until someone decided to break the silence. No, the old Tori family crest is stamped using a special technique. You can't fake it. And if you still can't trust it, then let me be the one to hand the Castella over. Hugh spoke in a low, soft, yet determined as he pointed toward the bird album. Thank goodness. I trust your judgment, Q. If you say it's the real thing, then it is. Maybe from the start. Yo felt like he could no longer follow the plot. How could Q speak with such certainty? And why would Gotana just follow along without even the slightest hesitation? Well, Yo trusted them. Even without answers, you knew there was no real room for doubt. Well, if you two are certain, then so am I. Me too. Following Yo's lead, everyone else looked on, determined looks on their faces that spelled trust. And maybe Yo's just imagined it, but he could have sworn the slightest smile seemed to tough his lips. Aww. Alright, let's get to the CEO then. The clock ticked on, closing in on midnight, closing in the time for layoffs. The group rushed out of the Aquamarine Park and toward Alea Plaza. Whoa, who are all these people? When they arrived, they saw members of the 24 tribe and the Shinagawa tribe standing guard around the CEO. You could easily count more than 100 of them. We've never seen security this strict, even compared with past data. They might be exercising extra caution considering the XG. Figuring out how to deliver this to the CEO will be quite the conundrum. Up, you lot. Go and come up with something already, and don't bother asking me for ideas because I have none. Thanks for contributing, Todoroki. Come on, if we all put our heads together, we can think of a plan. Despite Sudoko's optimism, a suitable plan would not be easy to come by. His suggestion was to have Minami's humanoid drone, Togashi, fly the Azuchi Momoyama to the CEO, but the area was crawling with security drones. There was no guarantee it could make it safely. Another consideration was to force their way in via car, but Kazuma was prepared for such an occasion? Multiple cars had been placed along the road to Lea Plaza, all of them perfectly in a way to make a car entry impossible. I only said I was so hesitant because I was thinking of Kazuki at first because he was the first person in my mind. But no, I'm pretty sure they meant Kazuma, aka Chinose. Everyone sighed in unison, frustrated and struggling to come up with something. Oh, I just came up with a perfect plan. Yaku Ichitaro's cheerful voice broke their solemn pondering. What do you got? Let's distract them. See, we putting something super cool they can't resist looking at, and that way we lure them all out. If they're all checking it out, no one will be able to guard the CEO. Kyaku Ichitaro offered his plan, eyes shining expectantly. Childish though it may be, no doubt that was the best idea someone of his age could come up with. Man, Kyaku Ichitaro, they're judging your age, man. Though most of the group would try to dismiss the silly plan with some tact, one among them lacked the delicacy to avoid hurting the young child's feelings. I'm sorry, you've been emphasizing how young you are and you're a child. You're like a child, I guess. Now that has to be some most nonsensical and worthless idea I've ever heard. Idiocy only matched by its owner, of course. What? I don't gotta take that from you of all people. Kyaku Ichitaro blushed brightly at Eiji's ridicule of him. Todoroki, why are you picking a fight with someone younger than you, buddy? Aren't you being too harsh? Kyaku Ichitaro is the youngest among us. You could cut him some slack, you know. Yo's attempt to try and smooth things over seemed to fall on deaf ears. Not you too, Yo. That's it. I'm done being made fun of. I'm just gonna eat the Castella myself then. Kyaku Ichitaro's anger escalated as he lunged for the Castella Tsuruko was holding. No, don't! This is something you absolutely mustn't eat. Gimme! No! What are they doing? We need that item! Tsuruko held the Castella high above her head, backing away, intent on protecting it from Kyaku Ichitaro. He wasn't so easily defeated. However, he tried hopping up and down to reach it. Tsuruko jumped in turn with him, but their near equal heights gave her a little advantage. Still, she barely managed to keep it from Kyaku Ichitaro's reach, who kept fruitlessly bouncing up and down. You're acting like a rabid animal, trying so desperately to eat it. Through that reminds me. What are you looking at about now? I just remember how he almost ate a sponge back at the hotel because he mistook it for a Castella. What a shame I couldn't see it in person. Eiji chuckled, reminiscing to himself. Yo didn't feel like laughing. However, having been there to witness the mishap firsthand, the sponge had a soft yellow side and a brown, more abrasive scrubbing pad attached to its bottom side. Even Yo briefly mistook it for a Castella. Had Kyaku Ichitaro not mentioned, but found it among the cleaning supplies, Yo could have made the same mistake. He mistook a sponge for a Castella? Yeah, so what? Got a problem with that? You also making fun of me, Gotanda? You also think I'm an idiot. Though Yutaka muttered to himself, clearly having a thought of something. Kyaku Ichitaro still believed he was being teased yet again. He stopped his jumping and pulled away from Tsuruko to lunge at Yutaka with just as much fervor. No, Kyaku Ichitaro, you're not an idiot at all. Quite contrary, actually. You've just given me the most brilliant idea. Yutaka caught Kyaku Ichitaro and lifted him up with ease, intent on expressing his gratitude. What, you like hugged him or something? So Kyaku Ichitaro wasn't an idiot, but in fact given him an idea. Hey, quit it! Put me down! You're embarrassing me! While everyone exchanged quite puzzled looks, a still airborne Kyaku Ichitaro ran all the way to the tip of his ears. My apologies. I got a little carried away there. Yutaka gently lowered Kyaku Ichitaro to the ground and beckoned everyone to come closer, his voice lowering to a soft murmur. May I have your attention, everyone? It might be a long shot, but I've come up with a plan. And that's the plan. What do y'all think? I see. Well, it's a little unorthodox. Isn't it too dangerous? Everyone seemed to have their doubts with Yutaka's plan, but Yo somehow had a good feeling it would work. Not to mention, they were running out of time and options. They had to go for it. Let me hold the Castella to the Castella. I promise I won't fail. Yo's response inspired Yutaka, who stepped up, resolute to take up the most dangerous role. Yo could tell you could tell. Okay, I don't know, man. You could tell the determination that shone bright came from the desire to avenge the manager, something in which he was not alone. Yo too wanted it, so he turned to Yutaka, fire shining bright in his eyes. An understanding came between them, and Yo knew that Yutaka was aware of his feelings. He placed his hand on Yo's shoulder, determination shining bright, and said, "We won't fail." Mr. Chinose, wait, sorry, I didn't say the episode title. Setting things in motion. Mr. Chinose, we've apprehended someone acting suspiciously. Yo was shoved forward with one of Kazuma's subordinates, coming face to face with Kazuma himself, who stood at the center. Kazuma set down his ornate teacup down, offering the helpless Yo a sick grin. "Oh, here I thought it'd be some sewer rat. But it's worse than that. You brought me the repugnant skunk from the sewage tribe. And he's all alone. Did your teammates abandon you once they realized it was all hopeless? Damn you, let me go! Ah! Pathetic. You come in without a proper plan, get caught immediately, and all you can do is scream, 'Let me go!' Even lowly sewer rats know when to give up, and if you don't pipe down soon, I'll deal with you accordingly. Perhaps some rat poison will quiet you down. How dare you? If it weren't for you." As anger took over him, Yo lunged at Kazuma, but quickly pinned down Kazuma's subordinates. That was when, plop, a tiny box slipped from his pocket, falling helplessly on the floor. It was shown gold and caught Kazuma's attention immediately. "Huh? What's that golden box? Pick it up at once." Yes, sir. Right away, sir." "Stop! Don't you dare put your hands on it." Despite Yo's protests, the 24 tribe member rushed toward the box and a shaky hand reached down for it. He picked it up and held it high so Kazuma could see it. "Mr. Chinose, this is the Otori family crest. Do you mean to tell me that this is the Asuchi Momoyama half-baked Castella? The Otori's family crest emblazoned on top of the box, chalk and clearly etched in both Kazuma and subordinates' faces. Not only was this legend of Neo Tokyo real, but it also lay right before them. Give it back. Do you have any ideas what we went through to get that?" Yo stretched out his hand out, desperately trying to reach to the box. It was all in vain. He was severely outnumbered, with there easily being over 100 of Kazuma's subordinates present. Even if his teammates came to the rescue, they still wouldn't have the manpower to turn the tides and retrieve the Castella. How tragic! Finding such a precious item, only to clumsily lose it again. All the better, as I will be the one to graciously deliver this to the CEO. Haha, with this, the CEO's favor will be mine and mine alone. Already certain of his victory, Kazuma burst into triumphant laughter, his subordinates following with awkward smiles. One subordinate, however, didn't join in the forced mirth and merriment. A loaf of Castella usually weighs around 600 grams. If you factor in the weight of the gold leaf cover box, the weight should be a little over that. So why is it lighter than that? Mr. Chinose, if I could have a word with you? She called out to Kazuma, sensing that something was wrong. But you, hand it over already. You get your filthy fingerprints all over it. I'm so sorry. Kazuma ignored her sacred apology, her scared apology as he stood up and snatched a gold leaf box from her hands. Bong, 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 bong. At last, the bell marking midnight rang. The CEO swayed heavily, his eyes lighting up a fiery red. Rise and shine, everyone. What a ruckus you got going on there. Did something happen? Good morning, CEO. As it so happens, I have good news for you. We managed to obtain that which you wish to taste at least once in your life. Kazuma rubbed his hands expectantly as he leaned close to the CEO's ears and whispered, are you for real? You got the Azuchi Momoyama half-baked castella? Let me have it. I want a taste. I really want to eat it. The CEO, in his excitement to taste his off-drain of Azuchi Momoyama half-baked castella, jittered from excitement. A little more movement, and he might have toppled over. But of course, please accept my offering to you and enjoy. Hell yeah, time to dig in. Kazuma offered the castella carefully, cradling it in both his hands as one would a treasure. As he approached, a door on the CEO's torso propped open, and a black hand shot out to grab the castella, immediately withdrawing withdrawing it once it had its prize. I won, you loathsome skunk. The victory of this XG is mine. The Kazuma's proud proclamation of victory was swiftly interrupted. Ooh. The CEO's door opened again as something shot out from it. Huh? CEO? What is this? Ew. Ew. Gross. 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 This isn't castella. This is just a sponge. What? A sponge? You tricked me. Unforgivable. The CEO flew into a rage, but that didn't make any sense. He given him the castella, right? Kazuma's subordinates quickly dispersed, scared by the CEO's angry thrashing. No, this can't be. Sure, this was some kind of mistake. Kazuma approached the item the CEO had spat out. What lay on the ground was not a half-true castella as he expected, but there were remnants of what appeared to be half-true kitchen sponge. Kazuma paled. You miserable skunk! You planned this, didn't you? Kazuma stomped towards you. Still, you'll remain unfazed as he was approached. I don't know what you're talking about. You did this on your own. Why, you little... Kazuma raised his fist high, clenched in anger, his eye twitching. But that fist never came down on Yo. Ichinose, care to explain what exactly is going on here? The CEO was furious. Kazuma knew that this was knew that were this allowed to go on, he'd be executed at any moment. Defeated, he lowered his fist and bowed his head apologetically. My sincerest, CEO, but you must understand, I, too, am a victim in all of this. And what is that supposed to mean? I, too, am a victim in all of this. The CEO's body swayed to the right as if he intended to jolt his head, and the rest came along. Was all deceit orchestrated by this malicious skunk? He tricked us all. So he's the one responsible for this insult? The CEO's gaze followed Kazuma's accusatory finger, which landed squarely on Yo. That's a lie. Kazuma delivered to you. I didn't do anything. Despite Yo's attempt to clear his name, the CEO didn't react. After all, the CEO can only hear one voice, and that would be the director's voice. Kazuma's mouth twitched with a wicked grin. I get it now. It wasn't Ichino's fault at all. I totally misunderstood. So, still, the one who did trick me should be laid off. Damn it. Is this really the end of the line? Haha, I must admit, I was a little worried for a moment. There was nothing to fear after all. Try and scheme all you want. The bond between me and the CEO is unbreakable. Yo hung his head as if in bleak acceptance of his death, and Kazuma couldn't hope but sneer. Until Yo lifted his head, he was smirking. Did you really think I say that? Oh, what's this? Trying to play it tough at the 11th hour? You're such a beast, unable to accept your own death with grace. We'll see who's playing tough soon enough. Hey, CEO, take a look at this. Yo stepped forward, free from the long-gone subordinates. He held a sheet of paper towards the CEO, right up against his face so he have a clear view. Quit your boorish flailing. Nothing you can do can help you now. What the heck is this? Ichino say, I'll never forgive you. Kazuma recoiled almost in an instinct at the sight of the CEO's uproar. Why was he being blamed again? He cleared it all up. CEO, what did you show him? I guess I can show you too, since you're that eager. I think it's a rather good shot, don't you think? Yo calmly handed Kazuma what he just shown the CEO. What? What is this? How could this be me? What he held in his hands was a picture, clear as day, of Kazuma himself swallowing the Azuchi Momoyama whole. He was stunned. How could he have a picture of something he had no memory of doing? Ichino say, you ate my Castella. Unacceptable. 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 No, I would never. I don't know what's going on here. Don't lie to me. I see you clear as day, swallowing it. No, that has to be... Kazuma sputtered in a panic, trying to come up with a suitable excuse. But as he tried and failed to explain himself, several figures came in running from the plaza. It was Yutaka and everyone else. They easily broke through the meager few guards still around. They lined up surrounding Yo. It's pleasant to see the director of Shinagawa himself reduced to such a pathetic mess. It's you people! I thought you ran away. It's what we wanted you to believe. I love to fill you in, but this plan would have never come to fruition without Mr. Gotanda's idea. So it's only right I let him do the honors. Despite her love for over-explaining, Tsuruko held herself back this once just so Yutaka could reveal his plan. Thank you. Allow me to elucidate you then on the plan that was your downfall, so you may etch it to your memory before you depart this world. Yutaka proceeded to explain it all. First, Yo and the rest of the gang had obtained a rare Azuchi Momoyama half-baked Castella, which could turn the tides for them all. However, the CEO was currently unreachable, surrounded by a large number of Kazuma subordinates, making the delivery impossible. It was then that a eureka moment hit after hearing the story of Captain Ichitaro mistaking a sponge for the ever-famed Castella. Maybe they couldn't deliver it themselves, but they could instead make it so Kazuma deliver a fake one, lowering his standing with the CEO. This plan still had one major problem, however. The CEO could still only hear the voice of the director, in this case Kazuma. Kazuma could very well talk his way out of it, and the CEO would, none the wiser, accept it at face value and execute Yo and the others. With time hanging over them, Yutaka remembered something from when he first met Yo and the others. The candy that Yo had dropped in front of the CEO, no matter how loud he shouted, the CEO never reacted to Yo's voice. But he did react to the candy dropped on the floor. That could only be... This meant one thing. The CEO could still react to visual information. Knowing that, Yutaka had Minami feed feed record footage of Kazuma that had been taken with her smart glasses to her AI model to fabricate some evidence. The evidence being the photo of Kazuma swallowing the Azuchi Momoyama half-baked Costello whole. Kazuma's expression rapidly transformed into one of despair after hearing Yutaka's explanation. He'd been set up. He knew that. Every inch of his body knew. And still, Yo and the others felt absolutely no sympathy for him. This man was responsible for far worse acts against the residents of Shinagawa City. He didn't deserve that sympathy. You get it now? These sewer rats got one up on you. Shut up, shut up! How dare you lowly scum and snarl me? I'm the director. I'm number one. The CEO would never be fooled by a mere photo. Our bond is unbreakable. A faint glimmer of hope shone in Kazuma's eyes as he directed his sight towards the CEO. The two of them had been deeply intertwined ever since the government rules began. The CEO would understand. He knew the type of man Kazuma was and would listen to him, right? Or perhaps not. Kill it, Chinosuke. Kill it, Chinose. Kill it, Chinose. Kill it, Chinose. Sorry, I slipped in a Chinosuke, but it's actually Chinose, my bad. The CEO violent shaking was more pronounced than before as he repeated one phrase, murderous intent, or Kazuma clear. CEO, don't you remember how much I contribute to the governing rules? A simple piece of Castella cannot be worth all that. I'm begging you, CEO, please reconsider. His last hopes crushed. Kazuma dropped into a deep apologetic bow. He pressed his hands together above his head, praying desperately as if begging a god for forgiveness, and now instead. Well, so long, Chinose, and thank you for all the hard work. Despite the cheer in the CEO's tone, his clear mind had not changed. As he bid his farewells, a heavy thud echoed through the room. The door on his torso opened slowly. It felt like staring into the deep gates of hell. Black hands shot out from within the void, violently lurching towards Kazuma and wrapping around his neck. Kazuma struggled futilely, his scarf coming loose from his neck. As it did, a light brown line became visible across his neck. What is that net? Wait, what is that mark? It was gone just as quickly as you'll notice, covering by snaking dark hands. He's gonna get executed. Don't touch me! Don't touch my neck! Tears welled up in Kazuma's eyes as he frantically tried to pry the black hands away from him. They didn't budge. They simply pulled him in steadily closer and closer to the CEO. No, I don't want to die. Ugh, I don't want to. And yet the hands kept ever strong pressure on his neck, cutting off his airway. He could barely breathe. It didn't take long for his body to give out. His body collapsing as the last signs of any fight in him vanished. With his strength gone and no resistance to give anymore, Kazuma was dragged through the gates of hell itself. Once he was through, the gates closed. Ever so slowly, they sealed his fate, signaling the end with one deep, resonant thud. Now you are getting laid off. The CEO slid his finger over his neck, gesturing as if slicing his own throat. As he did, the blade engaged, snapping into motion with metallic clank. Kazuma may have been their enemy, but watching him die still shook Yo and the rest. And still, the CEO remained unfazed. You, laying off people sure takes it out of me. So, nap time everyone, nighty night. The CEO's eyes dimmed as he sank into a deep slumber. A dark liquid dripped steadily from inside him, pulling at his feet. Was left no room for doubt. Kazuma had breathed his last within the CEO. He had been laid off. The reward. We did it. Yo dropped his shoulders, tension finally leaving him. He survived his first death game. Not only that, but he avenged the manager. His heart swelled, having to finally repay someone who's shown him kindness. Thank you, Kuronaka. We were able to avenge the Shinagawa tribe thanks to your effort. I can't imagine how to begin thanking you. It seemed as though Yutaka and Minami felt the same gratefulness. They've been finally able to avenge their old home by defeating Kazuma. Fulfillment was clearly etched in their faces. He and the rest regained their fervor, celebrating their victory. Yo watched on a gentle smile across his lips. It was peaceful, and he wanted to cherish it. Much as he wanted it, said peace would have to be short-lived, because yet more cruel layoffs would occur at the end of the week, in the same plaza as they stood upon. If Ichinose was gone, who knew if the one to replace him would be better, or if they just follow suit? Someone just like Kazuma could rise and yet again control Shinagawa City through fear. Some of the more jaded members of the group seemed to know that already. The only ones still openly celebrating were those whose childlike innocence remained untouched. Yo snapped his thoughts away from his premonition by a small black hole opening beside him. Congratulations on your XG victory, yo! And I'll have to hand it to you. That acting was bad. Worthy of Zero Award. Yo turned toward the boys only to be met by Zero, embodying his ugly, cute, plushy appearance. He'd likely been watching from somewhere else. As soon as he popped open, he started rattling off empty praises of the individual group members. Gil simply sighed, his eyes drifting to look over at Yutaka and Minami. Both of them seemed bewildered, having never seen Zero's plushie from form before. I can still barely take you seriously, but I hope you remember our promise. Of course I do. You're talking about your reward. No, I never make a promise that I didn't intend to keep. So what will it be? If I were you, I want a lifetime supply of Shinagawa City's best food. No, I don't need that. What I wish for is that you abolish the city's governing rules. The group stirred uneasy. Yo had been clear. He would ask for Sui's location and everyone else had respected his decision. But now his mind seemed to have changed, and the group couldn't have been more surprised. Hey, yo, what about Sui? Ski was also one of Sui's childhood friends. Of course she'd be worried about his sudden change of mind. Sui is still a priority, don't worry. But I still can't lead the city's governing rules as they stand. I can't let more and more people die. So that's why I can't wish for anything other than abolishing the rules. Yo's tone was serious and spoke to his unyielding determination. He nodded, understanding how he felt thoroughly and thoroughly agreeing. I think that's a good idea. I mean, we can't find Sui if we die, right? Thank you for understanding. Relieved to have earned Ski's agreement, Yo sighed as his expression softened. Zero, however, didn't seem too fond of the idea. Those were his governing rules after all. He designed them himself. He wouldn't be too eager to just let the system be erased. Huh? But that would be dismantling the whole game. And everyone in the city loves it so much. You would just be a killjoy if you got in the way of everyone's fun. That's not true. The only one who enjoyed it was Kazuma. Well, who knows? You don't know what you have until you lose it. We can't win if you're gonna twist everything we say. Still, I can't just let you go and stop the game here. Why don't you wish for something else? So much for not making any promise you don't intend to keep. Well, I never intend to keep that one. I had to agree to the wish too. There's no end to the mental gymnastics you go through to justify yourself. Zero's childish Friezo irritated Yo. If I could just tear you to pieces right now, I would. but he's the only one we can get that reward. This was a conundrum for Yo. How could they get Zero to go along with him? So, what if we just set different governing rules then? Different how? Ha! Let me guess. You'll go for that, won't you? And his companions grab in realization. Yo nodded firmly. Yes, let's give her the governing rules from here on, and let everyone in the city play XP as a game. If there was a weakness to Zero, it was his love for games. Yo decided he would use that obsession against him. But Zero is the one who replaced XP with the governing rule. This really work? A shrill voice eyed through the tense atmosphere. Aw, Yo, you're such a charmer. You're still thinking about the last XP match we had together, aren't you? Righto, I'll lodge a Shinagawa City governing rules and bring XP back. Zero was ecstatic, his tail eagerly wagging from side to side so fast he might spin away like a helicopter. It surprised Yo just how badly he could misunderstand when his intentions were clear, but as long as Zero was cooperating, he'd just leave it like that. If anything, it should have been his approach from the start. Zero plunged his arm back into the black hole as if rummaging through a toy box and pulled something out that looked like a magic wand. He proceeded to wave it up in the air. Suck up, lay off, and survive no more. Hocus pocus, may everyone enjoy XP with us. As if conjured with a silly little chant, paper confetti began falling down over Shinagawa City. Red, white, yellow, and blue. A colorful rainfall surrounded them. Everyone's staring off in awe. The confetti rained down on the CEO. As it landed on him, he tumbled over, landing a heavy thud. The very symbol of suck up, lay off, survive was no more. CEO was down. So this really means it's over. Yay! Now people in Shinagawa City won't have to suffer anymore. Thank you so much, Kuronaka. You are the hero of the city. At last, the governing rules that loomed over Shinagawa City had met their end. They done it. They won. Yo pumped his fists in the air. With that, the tension was all gone. Placed with overwhelming joy, Yutaka was clearly the one in the group most excited about it all. He rushed over to Yo, slipped his hand under Yo's arm and lifted him up high into the air. Aww. He may have done something similar to Kakuichi Tower before, but this felt more intense. Yutaka happily tossed Yo in the air over and over, each time catching him with ease. It was as if a parent was playing with their child. Oh no, that's embarrassing to look at. Hey, Mr. Gotanda, this is embarrassing. Nonsense. If anything, it's not high enough to celebrate my blitz, but I need more people for that. Maybe I could help you there. Oh, why don't you indulge us a little, Mr. Kuronaka? It's rare to see Mr. Gotanda this happy. I know, but Yo's ears turned a scarlet red. He was happy that everyone else was celebrating, of course, but this was too much for him, to a mortifying extent. Not to mention, those two were definitely not enjoying the sight of with any grace. You look like a freaking baby. This is delightful. Once 9 comes back online, I'm definitely telling Ayama and the others about this. But please don't. Anything but that. I'm begging you. Yo begged him to stop, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. If anything, they took the chance to snap a candid photo after a candid photo of Yo being tossed in the air. Laughter permeated to the place. Year of freedom. In the meantime, so what are we supposed to do now? Well, Mr. Ichinose is gone. I guess we're free? That just came out of nowhere. What are we supposed to do now? The subordinates quickly fell into chaos now that they lacked their leader. They followed Kazuma relentlessly, driven by fear of layoffs. And yet without him, they no longer had any direction, no orders to follow, no boss to appease, no idea how to go on. It was then they realized the freedom they so ardently wished for was a double-edged sword of terrifying possibilities. Mr. Chinose, please tell us what to do. One after another, Kazuma's subordinates gathered around the remains of the CEO, still somehow hoping for Kazuma's guidance. Dust still hung in the air, as did the city smell of char and oil. Kazuma's hand stuck out from under the debris, dirt cover, and ring askew. It shouldn't have been able to move anymore. And yet, signal with a faint metallic creak. The fingers curved slightly inward. It was a faint, very perceptible motion, and yet they were sure they saw it happen. Twice even. Every eye fell onto the hand. A gasp cut through the silence, and one of them fell into their knees. What? Mr. Mr. Chidose is still moving. Huh? What the heck? Everyone turned around when they heard the scream. The ground rattled violently, rubble being displaced and dust falling off the CEO's shell. The grinding sound came from within as an arm emerged from between the fragments, and then a shoulder came forth, then a torso. Ah! What is this? Ah! You worthless maggots! Did you simpletons really think it was over? The rubble was pushed aside as a body rose from underneath. It was Kazuma Ichinose, headless. This is ghost. Oh, it's like a plug. Look at that. I shall never perish. Kazuma Ichinose will rise again as many times as it takes. What the hell? Where is his head? This must be a dream. Yes, it must. And when I wake up, I'll be the fountain of knowledge. With a brand new soul-stirring book await me. Though he should have been dead, Kazuma stood before them all, alive, right before their very eyes. Everyone paled. Panic filled the air, and a cacophony of screams saturated their ears. Kazuma should be dead, so how is he moving? How could he even stand up without his head? Everyone panicked, except for Zero, who calmly knit his wisecracker as if nothing was wrong with the world at all. What's got everyone in such a tizzy? He's walking around without his head. What? Why wouldn't we be freaking out? Huh? Oh wait, did I not mention I turned Ichinose into a robot when he became one of the numbers? No, this is the first. You're telling us this, dumbass. Whoopsie. I mean, there were so many things to explain, so something was bound to escape me. Zero laughed carelessly at the confusion he caused. At the same time, Kazuma rummaged through the rubble for his head before snapping it back into place. His hand went to his neck in a self-conscious motion meant to hide the thin brown line that signified that's the word, I'm sorry, signified the separation between his head and his body. After that, he returned his unusual big scarf to his neck, tossing it carelessly over him. He turned to glare at everyone. I heard everything. All the nonsense you fools have been spouting. The governing rules are special. I will not allow you layabouts to go around and changing something I so cherish just like that. Doesn't matter. It was our reward and it's done. If you want a game, then you'll have to make it an XP. Who would ever want to play such a confounding mix of martial arts and sports? Okay, buddy. Despite the fury with which Kazuma snapped at Ski, he immediately did a heel turn as he dropped his knees before Zero and begged. Zero, please, I beg you to reconsider. The governing rules are perfection itself, supreme above all. What is he going on about? Kazuma's refusal to give up exasperated Yo. He had just used their reward to abolish the governing rules and return XPs. No way Zero would just listen to him. Oh, Ichinose, it flatters me to hear you love my creation so much. Well, that's what Yo would have liked to believe, but Zero melted the moment his original governing rules were praised. His tail wagged wildly, a little flower spouting above his head in a show of delight. I have a bad feeling about this. A deep, unsettling feeling bubbled within Yo's chest. I'm so happy that I want to give you another chance at Ichinose. So then, you're bringing back the governing rules back? Of course not, silly. That would be no fun. We just switch from the governing rules back to XP. So of course we have to do an XP. You want me to fight an XP? That's barbaric, utterly pointless, and crowded sport? Kazuma's face twisted in agony as he spat those words out. Yup. How about this? If you win Ichinose, then I'll restore Shinagawa City's governing rules back to the way they were. That was all he needed to for the hesitation to fade. As you wish. I promise I will restore the governing rules without fail. His voice sounded pathetic, humiliated. He didn't quite accept the decision. That wasn't it. It was more like he resigned, knowing he had no other choice. And so a rematch was decided upon without everyone else's consent. Yeah, we don't care about you guys. After all, Zero's decision was absolute. They all had long since learned that there was no pointless in protesting. It wasn't all bad though. The match would be an XP. Yo and his team had experience when it came to playing XP. Kazuma, on the other hand, likely had no experience with XP if his earlier protests were anything to go by. Good grief. To think I sink low enough to be forced to play XP. But this will be the first and last time, you vulgar skunk. I will make sure that I end you here. Right back at you. I won't lose, not to you. Sparks flew between the two of them as their eyes locked together. Then they set off, away from the layoff plaza. XP versus Kazuma, part 1. We're getting there. We're almost there. Shinagawa Station Plaza, 1 o'clock a.m. Yo and his team were warming up on the stove pavement as the night breeze blew past them, chilling. The plaza they found themselves could once be found full of business people going about their day. And yet, ever since the governing rules had been enacted, the hustle and bustle was no more. Travel between cities had ceased, trains had stopped, and the plaza was now dead silent. Yo gripped his bat firmly with both his hands, then closed his eyes. We were so close to saving Shinagawa City from Kazuma's control, so close to avenging the manager. But Yo took that away in a moment. Now we're having an XP rematch. I mean, not a rematch against Zero though. Why do you say that? He was still struggling to wrap his head around the whole thing. Kazuma should have been laid off, dead, and yet here he was. Not to mention that Zero seemed to not care about what's going on, caring about with his usual whimsy. Anger and frustration burned deep inside him, but that wasn't it all. There was something building up within the depths of his heart. It wasn't anger or irritation. It was different, sharper. It was exhilaration. He gathered his strength, clenching his fist. The uncontrollable pounding of his heart swelled. He'd been waiting for it. Here I am, playing XP again. If I lose here, the governing rules will be brought back. There will be layoffs. Can't lose. A shiver carried it from his legs all the way up. He felt hot. Was he excited? Nervous? He didn't know. But he did know one thing. I will win XP. It was your fault that I lost. Unforgivable. Completely unacceptable. You will forever rue the day you failed me. I'm terribly sorry. It was all my fault. Huh? What's going on over there? Yo opened his eyes, focusing on the angry yelling coming from Kazuma's side. Many of his subordinates stood there now. They may have fled before, fearing for their lives. They come back once the XP match had been decided upon. Was Kazuma yelling at one of them? Yo and the rest of the team headed towards them, worried for Kazuma's enforcers. What happened here? What happened? This filth here just confessed. I knew something was wrong with her. She admits it now. I noticed there was something wrong when I took the Castella from Kuronaka, but I didn't say anything. So it's all my fault. Mr. Chinose lost because of me. I knew something was off. I'm too perfect to ever lose to riffraff like you. It was your fault that all of this happened. Kazuma pointed at her, angry as he continued on his raging spiel. Can I even do anything here? She must have been a subordinate who had mentioned her concern about the Castella's weight, but hesitated to report it. They come so close to failure. Had she reported it, the planet would have been crumbled, and Yo's heartbeat was ringing in his ears at the same time, worried. But she didn't. Or it was more like she couldn't. And no wonder she couldn't. The way Kazuma treated his employees, even if Kazuma couldn't see it. Yo looked at him with an expression caught somewhere between expiration and pity. What's with that horrid look? Do you wish to take the blame, you filthy skunk? Because there's plenty to blame to go around. Kazuma stepped forward, hurriedly making his way to confront Yo. Yutaka, however, stepped in between them, raising his arms in protection to block Kazuma's way. No, it wasn't Kuronaka's fault. The fault lies squarely with you, Ichinose. Of that, there is no doubt among us. Though, with everything that's happened, why don't we give it another go? Let's see if your subordinates are really the reason you lost that XG match. Oh, does that mean the game is on? Say, who's pitching? I'll take the mound. Okay, then take the XP ball. Zero tossed the XP ball towards Yutaka, who caught it in one hand and stared at it, silent. XP ball. It was a special ball that only the leader of the tribes governing each city could possess. XP hadn't disappeared from Neo Tokyo just because of the dawn of governing rules. It also had been because there were no more XP balls. The XP ball worked as a device that sent signals to Space Envoy 3. Once you pressed the eye-looking button in the center, the ball transmitted a signal to the Space Envoy 3. Once the signal was received, the entire city would transform into an XP field. However, Yutaka had informed Yo that Shinagawa City's ball had vanished right before the instating of the governing rule, ever since Zero's attack. No wonder we couldn't find it anywhere. Zero had it after all. Let's go, Oi. Yes, Mr. Gotanda. Yutaka lifted his head, signaling Minami, the catcher. He pressed the button. The moment he did, Shinagawa City became engulfed in a bright light as it shifted into an XP field. Bzzz. A loud buzzer rang out to signal to start the game. The XP match had begun. It was the top of the first inning. Kazuma's team was up first to bat, while Chad's tribe was playing defense. Yo's team spread out, taking their defensive positions and stretching their shoulders, loosening their muscles. A large hologram monitor floated above them, showing the view of the central camera. Everyone settled into their positions. Kazuma stepped into the batter box, being the leadoff hitter. The air was heavy with tension. Kazuma's gaze landed on Yutaka. I look at him trying to insult him. It seems as you don't understand business at all. A subordinate's failure is the responsibility of the superior. Ha! Don't act so high and mighty. You know nothing. You cannot never understand the hardships of standing above others. I'm a company president, you know. Well, you can bring a horse to water. Regardless, you have no right to blame your subordinates for their mistakes. As soon as he was done, Yutaka raised his right arm gauntlet gear. Mr. Henny! What is that? can't pronounce, I'm sorry. And pitched the ball with such force as if he was shooting was a laser instead. It streaked forward like a lightning cleaving the sky in two. A blazing fastball launching on straight toward the batter's zone. His skill was undeniable, fitting of the Shinagawa tribe's former head. Ha! Keep trying to deny me. I will show you just how helpless you really are. What? Ding! Kazuma hit the ball straight on and sent it flying back. A sharp crack echoed through the stadium as the ball shot straight forward into the infield gap. Haha! Behold Kazuma Chinose's power, the number one! Kazuma tossed the bat aside and sprinted off with a grin. The ball bounced deep into the field. The defense scrambled to retrieve the ball as Kazuma dashed across the bases and stepped back on the home plate. As he did so, the home plate sensor lit up. Adding to the score, the whole team gasped. No way! XB is not quite the challenge I expected. A delayed wave of murmurs spread through the field. No one has expected that Kazuma, an XP beginner, to be able to hit that fast ball. My apologies. I take full responsibility for the first one. No, don't blame yourself for that. He's a lot more capable than we even thought he'd be. As Yutaka apologized over the hologram, Yu followed up with sympathies to the clear in the ear sign. Kazuma always boasted being number one after all. If that number represented his ranking and strength, then who they are facing off against might very well be a monster. And their shock didn't end there. Starving for victory, Kazuma had hand-pitched the most skilled XP players amongst his subordinates to be his starting lineup. It was working. The top of the first inning ended with the score of 2-0. Yo's team was showing hints of unease. It was far from over. The match had just begun. With the sides now switched, Trash Tribe was now on the offense. When Yo stepped into the batter box, he found himself face to face with Kazuma. Oh, you're up next, you unsavory skunk. Have you ever pitched before? I remember playing catch when I was a child. And you're still gonna pitch? Don't you think it's better to leave it to someone who has some actual experience? I want to show you and Trash Tribe firsthand, and that you should be fearing number one, subordinates. Number one, subordinates, it's time. Yes, sir. Kazuma's subordinates burst into motion at his command. The bottom row spreading out on all fours in a straight horizontal line. Then the second row climbed onto their backs and also on all fours. They were followed by a third row, then fifth, and then sixth, one layer after another, crawling on top of the previous layer's backs. Their shoulder blades are locked together, spines stacked like beans, forming a rising triangular frame. What are they doing? A pyramid? Have they completely lost their minds? The formation was so sudden that no one in Trash Tribe could even begin to comprehend what was going on. Kazuma swiftly kicked his way up the now completed 10-layer pyramid as if he was just sprinting up a regular staircase, bounding lightly from back to back. I am number one, Kazuma Chinose. As he reached the top, Kazuma extended both his arms into a large one as he spun rapidly on his axis and then proceeded to pitch the ball. The ball flies through the air at an incredible speed, streaking past the field and swinging right towards the batter's box. There was no time to react, much less swing. The pitch was too fast. No way! How could a total beginner throw a pitch like that? Your teammates back on the bench were just stunned. Or just as stunned. Kazuma was performing like the tribe's ace in both defense and offense. No one could hide their shock. The Trash Tribe? Why do you keep saying the Trash Tribe? It sounds weird. Just say Trash Tribe. You don't need the B in there. It just doesn't make any sense. Trash Tribe couldn't get their lineup going, and the next two batters after Yo also fell silent. With no one reaching base, the bottom of the first inning came to an end. Ha ha ha, too easy. Just you wait. Once we have the governing rules back where they should be, all of you are getting laid off. Kazuma pointed to the trash tribe with both hands, taunting them. What the hell? Man, that bastard pisses me off. Oh my god, you're aggravating. He should be the one on with his back to the wall. How is he this strong? Yo shared that frustration. They intended to teach Kazuma a lesson, but found themselves on the wrong end of schooling, and by someone who hated XP as much as Kazuma did. Oh, there we go. I decided to stream early because I was like, it might be long, I think. Well, I just trying to save my voice, so, you know, I gotta sleep. Anyways, XP versus Kazuma Part 2. While the bench erupted in confusion, members of the Shinagawa tribe rushed over Kazuma on the pitcher's mound. Mr. Chinose, it's time we perform maintenance. Nitpicky fools. Fine, take it. Kazuma ripped his white glove up and slammed it to the ground. Oh. Hey, are you okay? A second member of the Shinagawa tribe approached, concerned for his teammate. He hurried over and picked up the dropped glove. Yeah, I'm just not sure if he'll last until the end, considering we brute forced some of the adjustments. Yutaka and Minami were at the front of the bench, stepped closer to look at the white glove. Mr. Kotanda, maybe that's... I believe it's possible, yes. For their experimental tech to turn off now, at a moment like this, what's wrong? Is it really that bad? Yutaka nodded quietly toward Q before addressing everyone else. Please listen to me, everyone. This is not Ichinose's real skill at playing. His abilities are being enhanced by Shinagawa tribe's developed AI-assisted XP gear. This is the first time I ever heard such a thing. It's not made it past a prototype stage yet. You see, a beginner would usually falter when trying to either pitch or bat. But with this gear, the AI can compensate for their weaknesses, allowing them to perform about as well as an average player. Even with it, he still should not be able to perform this well, so he must have forced them to increase the output. The Shinagawa tribe specialized in designing and developing XP gear. This was the exact kind of trick they tried to pull. The whole team let out a relieved sigh after hearing Yutaka's explanation. Oh, thank goodness. One probably would never recover if he was just as good as a beginner. For real, I would have been never be able to show my face in public ever again. Even if Kazuma's XP gear is leveling the playing field, we're all fully capable players. If we take it seriously, we can definitely beat him. Right, just as you said, Mr. Yo. Everyone felt that fierce determination come back to them. As the game progressed, inning by inning, so did the team slowly begin to adapt Kazuma's style. While Ichinose's team carried momentum from the beginning of the match, his micromanagement broke the team's rhythm and coordination, resulting in frequent mistakes. It was the bottom of the fifth, all bases loaded in Trash Tribe's favor. A single long hit could bring everyone in. And in that crucial moment, Kazuma made a disastrous pitch. A perfectly sweet ball floated high over the middle. Yo swung with full force and the ball soared high above, soaring further and further into the distance. All the runners returned to home base, adding 4 points to their score. It's now shifted 6-9 in favor of Trash Tribe as they seized the land in a single explosive swing. As Yo returned to home plate, Trash Tribe members rushed in one after another, exchanging energetic high fives. You did it, Yo! If we keep this up, we can definitely win. With the bottom of the fifth over, they took a brief break. Yo and the rest passed bottles around, quenching their dry throats. They could totally win this. The heat in his palms were pounding in his chest confirmed that conviction. The whole Trash Tribe team buzzed with excitement. In the meantime, Kazuma's whole team was looking pale. Exasperated from the massive run, they just surrendered. They all were made up to line in the front of the bench by Kazuma so he could scold them. And it didn't look like it eased off anytime soon. Much as he did want to hear them, Yo couldn't just close his ears. Kazuma's sharp-cutting voice stabbed him as he watched in silence. You, in the suit, did you not hear me earlier? I said to cover. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you meant me. No excuses. And you. Yes, you. Kazuma kept jabbering endlessly, pointing fingers at everyone but himself as he went from one person to another, laying blame all over them. Me? Or do you mean me? Yet no one could tell who he even meant to blame anymore. His subordinates exchanged confused glances. That was one of Kazuma's worst habits. He rarely ever referred to people by their names, either choosing a simple you or tacking on a physical trait. Yo was all varieties skunked to Kazuma, and even Yutaka would react to somewhat a big insult, sporting black and white hair himself. To make matters worse, many of Kazuma's subordinates shared rather similar features, which only led to further confusion. The members of the 24 tribe all hid their faces behind masks, not to mention all members of Shinagawa tribe uniforming themselves with a suit and sunglasses. With everyone looking so familiar, it was no wonder no one could tell who Kazuma was yelling at. And that bad habit would also heighten their confusion at the same time of receiving orders, which meant more and more failures. I'm sorry, Mr. Chinose, we all look very similar, and if you try to point something out about how we look, chances are we all share it. We beg you, please just call us by our name. All the subordinates agreed. When one of them bowed their head and spoke up, the rest followed suit, one after another. The row of lowered heads all aligned in the same direction, like trample on grass. But Kazuma. Ah! You're infuriating, numbskulls! All you need to do is faithfully follow orders like the pawns that you are. And you can't even do that? Overcome with rage, he swung his fist at the subordinate who spoken up. Crap. Ah! Good. Ah! The struck subordinate was blown backward, kicking up a cloud of dust on the way. The rest of the team simply watched in horror. Anger surged in Yo's chest, mixed with nausea and disgust. And yet, the one whose anger burned the brightest was Yutaka. XP versus Kazuma Part 3. No, I can't take it anymore. I've reached my limit. Mr. Gotanda! Shaking with fury, Yutaka burst forward and sprinted towards Kazuma. Yo and the rest of the team chased on after him. However, Yutaka stopped abruptly before reaching Kazuma and shouted towards his subordinates. Nakanobu, Ebar, Budo, Nishikoyama, Miss Kashiwa, Mr. Ogura, Miss Mitarashi, Mr. Abekawa, all of you, listen to me! Yo, and the rest all blink in confusion, not recognize any of the names Yutaka had just called. So Gotanda, you remember after all this time. Minami was the only one who had realized the meaning behind those names. You're pathetic. Thinking you can plead to the dead for the strength to defeat me? Do as you please. When we instate the governing rules back, you'll be the first to be laid off. You'll get to reunite with all those names you're calling too soon. Ichinose doubled over in laughter, believing Yutaka was spouting nonsense in a panicked state, but he didn't get it at all. Why do you know my name? I never spoke to you before, even back when you were our leader, Mr. Gotanda. I never even greeted you. Why would you know the names of people like us who weren't originally part of the Shinagawa tribe? The names Yutaka had shouted weren't just random names, or those of the departed. These were the names of 24 tribe and Shinagawa tribe that currently serve under Kazuma. Huh? What is the meaning of this? You mean to tell me those were your names? Oh, shouldn't you, as a superior, have immediately recognized those names as ones of your subordinates? A boss ought to know the names of all those under him. Oh, don't be ridiculous. They all look identical. There's no way you could tell them from any of them apart. That's not true. I could tell each of them apart. While Kazuma stood there confused, Taka stepped forward, smiling, adoring his face as he approached Kazuma's subordinates. When you make me say these names again, they're giving me too many names. Nakanobu, Ebara, Udo, Nishi Koyama. You four have been a part of the Shinagawa tribe ever since I was leader. We may have never spoken, but you are my subordinates, and I cherish you as so. Remembering your names is the least I could do. Mr. Gotanda, it's an honor that you would remember me among everyone else you have to keep track of. And as for you, members of the 24 tribe, Miss Kashiwa, Mr. Ogura, Miss Mitarashi, Mr. Abekawa. We met when Ichinose was trying to move into the hotel, didn't we? You all showed incredible coordination amongst yourself after Ichinose had left. It's some unbelievable potential. No way. You even remember something so that small? Still, this makes me so happy. There was someone out there who truly saw us as we were. Face flash memory. That was one of Gotanda's special skills. It had even caught Yo off guard when he first saw it. Once he linked a face with a name, he could recall it instantly. And it didn't just apply to subordinates he's spoken to. He could even perfectly remember the names and faces of enemies he had never had a chance to exchange words with. For the subordinates who were never called by their name by their own boss, that fact struck them deeply. From here on, I don't say this as your appointment, but as a human being to another. Please, leave Ichinose. Talented young people such as yourselves don't deserve to be crushed by someone like him. I sincerely beg of you. No matter what, a superior should never neglect those under him. A leader's true duty is to their own, to ensure they flourish. Mr. Gotanda. Yutaka bowed his head deeply. He truly wished for happiness to find Kazuma's underlings. Even now they were the enemy. He was, without a shadow of doubt, a man of true spirit, with an undeniable qualities of a leader. Anathema to the man Kazuma was, who instead opted to neglect and belittle those under him. The rest of Yo's team felt something stir within them after seeing Yutaka's open sincerity on display. Quit it with your nurturing sentimentality. You guys say such deep words. Did you seriously think they'd be moved by that? That they'd listen to you? This is why I despise you, obsolete, corporate drones. Now, come on, you lot, set him straight. Yutaka didn't stir from his deep bow. Kazuma spat bitterly at him, urging his subordinates to back him up. And yet, I'm sorry, but I cannot follow that order. We have opened our eyes. This is the last time we work under you, Ichinose. From here on out, please handle your affairs on your own, boss. Former boss. Kazuma's subordinates slowly turned their backs on Kazuma, both literally and figuratively, after having heard Yutaka's heartfelt words. They gingerly stepped forward, finally freed from the heavy chains that had bound them for so long. Wait, this match isn't over yet! Kazuma panicked, realizing those who once followed him without question were now deserting him. No way! Even Kazuma's underlings couldn't stand up to all that abuse. As suspected from Mr. Gotanda. Sir, you managed to free them from Ichinose's terror. No, I've done no such thing. They reached their limit and did this all their own. Yo and the rest of the team gathered around Yutaka, impressed by his actions. He smiled bashfully at the intention. Damn it. Damn it! Why? Why would you leave someone as brilliant as me? Trash tribe, you snakes. This is all your fault. You whisper falsities into their ears and now they left me. Kazuma's anger swelled with his voice, his anger piercing at everyone. Instead of biting, Yo spoke up to ask a question. So, it's just you now. You still want to play? Of course, as long as I'm here, I can beat you. I need none of those unsavory weaklings to crush you. Alright, your funeral. End the game, and so the game resumed. Kazuma returned to the field, wearing a smug look on his face. It spoke of someone who thought undeservedly high of themselves. But the cracks showed as soon as he stepped onto the plate. The prototype XP gear the Shinagawa tribe had provided him broke down during Kazuma's offense. And he was on defense with no team to speak of. Kazuma had to chase after the ball all by his lonesome self. Trash tribe. Let's say everything said the trash tribe. I can't say this anymore. I'm like omnit the D. Okay. Trash tribe steadily racked up runs against him, while Kazuma's mistakes piled high one on top of the other. It was finally at the bottom of the 6th inning that the match was forcefully ended. The Trash tribe had claimed their victory. Take that. Dawn of victory. Why? Why did I lose? This makes no sense. It's impossible. It shouldn't be happening. Yo set his bat down and exhaled deeply as he looked on. Kazuma was violently clawing his head, still on the mound, unable to accept he lost. Yo, followed by the rest of the team, walked toward him. Choice words at the ready. Kazuma, the reason you lost is simple. You were left behind by those under you. XP is supposed to be a team game, and yet you never played it like one. You neglected and abused all those under you. That, in essence, is why you lost. That's right. If you valued your team, maybe you would have turned out differently. But you wasted that chance all on your own. Don't you dare talk to me about teamwork. You fools could never hope to accomplish anything without mooshing off of each other. Kazuma spat those words out, but was interrupted just as he was about to lash out. Ah, the reason you lost? That's so silly. You know, in Chinose, unlike you, I could beat Yo and the rest all by myself. Alright, Zero, you don't need to rub it in. A tiny black hole appeared in midair, Zero's ugly, bushy form popping out from within as it held a popcorn bucket. You could see a small analog TV through the hole. Zero must have been watching the game through it. Zero? But please listen, this was all just a fluke. Yes, a fluke. Just a bad luck. That's all. Please, just give me another chance. I swear, next time, I'll be victorious. I will achieve victory worthy of #1 title you bestowed upon me. Kazuma crawled over to Zero the moment he noticed him, trying to cling to him as one would needing emotional support. Aw, Chinose, you worried too much. I promise I'm not mad at all. Oh, what a merciful being you are, truly. Zero offered him a gentle smile, and for an instant, relief washed over Kazuma. And then, I'm not mad, because I never expected anything from you in the first place. Huh? What do you mean by that? Kazuma was stunned, frozen, the words taking him by surprise. All while, Zero nonchalantly fidgeted in place like a nervous schoolgirl dragging the moment out. Okay, Zero, come on. I guess now is as good as I guess now is as good as ever to finally spill the beans. You see, you're #1 because you're the first of the numbers. Or the weakest and the tiniest one. Plus, your name has 2 eyes in it, which look like a lot like ones, so I thought it was fitting. Yeah, there. The truth finally being out is like a weight off my shoulders. I always wanted to tell you this, but I was worried I hurt your feelings. Oh, you did. You certainly did. This has to be a joke, right? Zero, I thought of you, of all people, had finally acknowledged me. Tears welled in Kazuma's eyes. This time, he believed he ranked number 1 and behaved accordingly. And yet, the truth behind his title was nothing if not absolutely humiliating for him. Yup. I mean, I totally acknowledge all your awful parts about you, like your personality. Only someone truly twisted could adapt to the reigning rules so fast and lay off people like he's changing clothes. But I have to say, you really are the weakest among the numbers. But that's what made you so good. You serve as Yo's perfect XG tutorial. Oh no, the tutorial! Yes, chapter 1 after all. And now that's said and done, bye-bye. You can pick up your stuff on the way out. No. This can't be happening to me. Zero, you were the only one who acknowledged me. Despite the heft left behind his words, Zero had explained the situation to Kazuma as if he was a casual conversation, waving his arms out carelessly. Kazuma sank into his knees, a deep, dark void of despair swallowing him. Hey, Zero, we beat Kazuma in XP as well. You didn't forget about your promise, did you? Ah, right. Don't be so pushy. I just had to wrap up some loose ends. Still, game set. Yo's team is the winner. As promised, everyone in Shinagawa City gets to play XP now. This time, Shinagawa City's XP had truly come into an end. Yo and his team exchanged quiet, happy glances, sharing high vibes with each other. It had been a long battle. Heaviness permeated their bodies, heat still clinging to their palms or from the exertion. This loss was just bad luck. That's all. After all, from an objective standpoint, I am always correct. I already know how your futures will turn out anyway. And what's that supposed to mean? Kazuma slowly rose to his feet, staggering toward him. Even Yo's retort didn't seem to faze him, as he kept incoherent excuses coming. You might all be praised as heroes at first, the saviors that abolished the government. But eventually, you'll be condemned as criminals who destroyed them. No way, everyone will be happy to see them gone. Ski's retort only served to anger Kazuma, his eyes flying open like those of a madman. They're all just too slow to realize the true beauty of the governing rules. The world before was garbage. The more you earnestly try to fit in as a cog in this deplorable society, the more you suffer. Everyone out for each other's throats, pulling everyone else further down. No one ever noticed my talent. But with the governing rules, it was different. The cogs were rewarded for their contributions. Why won't you understand them? Why won't you grasp their brilliance? You refuse to accept that. You refuse to appreciate Zero's mercy. The mercy that wiped this rotten society and cleared the state. He cried out in desperation, painful anguish. Yo couldn't know just what kind of life Kazuma had lived before, but woven in between his words was an unmistakable tapestry of disdain and resentment towards the peace he once known. Hey, about Ichinose's background. Yes, we might need to look into it further. Clearly, Yo was not the only one who noticed, as he heard Yutaka and Minami's whispering among themselves. Man, Ichinose's such a riot. Please watch carefully, Zero. I'll defeat them soon enough. I'll win and bring back the gun rules to the city. I don't think that's really possible, because you're about to run out of battery. I mean, and I mean it literally. Run out of battery? Kazuma blinked rapidly, stupefied. His eyes flickered, and he seemed unable to process what was happening. Turning you into a robot was fun, but one of the cons is that if you move too much, you'll up and run out of battery ASAP. But I guess that's my fault for building you out of spare parts. Of course, you work like junk. No, please, recharge me then. Or give me a new battery. No can do. Sorry. I'm not all that good with machines. But I'm sure someone out there who's good at them will fix you someday. So you can go on, take a nap until then. Oh wait, please, I can't still fight. Ichinose speech slowly began to slur and jerk. His movements come to a stop. He ran out of power, just like Zero said he would. Well, you know, when they said about the battery thing, I wonder if we'll see him again. Just wondering if that's the case. You'll just lose even more power if you just get worked up. So, 99. Kazuma finally collapsed and went completely still. A heavy and thick silence fell over everyone. He's not moving anymore. Hehe. Well, that was fun. I'm pretty pooped. Just to think of all the fun games I get to see in other cities gets me feeling all fuzzy inside. You all better keep working hard. Zero, Cashew waved his wand and stepped back through the black hole while everyone stood in silence, still processing Kazuma's sudden shutdown. Man, I'm wiped. That makes two of us, and look, the sun's about to rise. Instead, the eastern sky slowly overflowed with soft pink tones. Dawn edged closer, painting the edge of the buildings in beautiful colors. Darkness retreated, the city's outline gently rising into view. My, it's beautiful. It really is. The sky looks so nice today. Everyone stood entranced by the dancing light of dawn. The sun's warmth hitting their tired faces and washing away the heat of battle with the pale beauty of morning. Hey everyone, how about we have a little celebration party? After we get some sleep, of course. We work super hard today, and I think we can just let loose for just a little. Everyone exchanged glances at the suggestions, then smiled softly. Relief was palpable, peace so that you even catch a stomach growl or two. That sounds a wonderful idea. Indeed, I'll treat you all to whatever you feel like. Pizza, chicken, your choice. I do feel kind of bad for Kazuma and the others, but I guess they'll manage. Alright, everyone, let's head back to Shinagawa Princess Hotel. Yo and the rest started their walk home, bathed in the morning sun. Yutaka and Minami retrieved Kazuma. With him no longer functioning, it was decided that Minami would take care of him, as robots were her specialty. They would probably see him again. Maybe he'll be an ally. An ally to change his ways. When he got back to his room, Yo let himself fall into bed, promptly pulled in by the mattress. Wait for me, sweetie. I swear I'll absolutely find you. With the weight of everything else finally lifted off his shoulders, Yo could finally let himself think of Sui once more. He closed his eyes as he wished for a reunion with his precious childhood friend. That night, he dreamed of a happy dream. He dreamed of Ski and Sui, the three of them playing XP. Their laughter carried him through the night. However, the bright warning light casts a deep shadow. A shadow that already set out in silent action. Tribe 9 Chapter 1 end. Hey. So we finished Chapter 1. It was so long. I was like 28 episodes. Okay. So that's it for this chapter. Won't be reading Chapter 2 until it gets fully translated. So until next time. Anyways, so I'm gonna end the stream with that. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. And I'll be playing AFK Journey. I don't think it'll be a long stream, so I'm just chilling. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll be back tomorrow evening. Okay.